Good afternoon. I'm not sure who's joining me. I see one person on so far. I'm just doing a little fussy cutting while we wait for the party to get started. And it is a beautiful day, so I'm not expecting a whole lot to jump on. But do let me know who's on. I always like to chit chat. I did jump on just a few minutes early as well, so we'll wait just a few minutes. Trying to soften up my brush. I have one that I like to use with my matte medium, but my gosh, it makes it hard. It doesn't matter how much I scrub it. Who's joining me this afternoon? I think there's a way I can see names of people, but I haven't ventured into that yet. We'll wait till about 2 minutes past 1 your time, or 2 minutes past 2 my time, to give everybody time to log on if they are joining us. As always, this will be taped, so no fret if you miss it and you want to come back and re-watch it. I always like to ask if anybody's making with us today or watching. I know watching is very popular. The sale last night was fabulous. I ended up falling asleep before it was finished, and I was trying my hardest to stay awake and alert. Okay, so we're just at 2. We'll give it another few minutes to see who else might be jumping on, and then we'll get started. If you're just watching, today is a beautiful day, at least in Nova Scotia, to take your phone or your laptop, iPad, whatever, outside and watch while you're enjoying some sun. I did get to enjoy some earlier and hope to get back out this evening. Well, hello, Miss Judy. You've been spitting out some beautiful projects. I've been enjoying seeing those. And I'm so happy you're finding your groove in layering and your journaling. It's so much fun. Just watching cloudy in Guelph. It was cloudy here yesterday, but it was still nice. Like, lots of clothes got hung out this weekend. Windows are open, so you're loving it. Aw, that's so nice, Judy. That's very good to hear. And it might be just you and I on here. The viewers keep popping up and down, but I can't see names, so unless people want to say hello, I never know who's joining us. So it's 2 minutes after 2 my time, 2 minutes after 1 your time. And let's get at it. So we're already doing our May journaling class, doing it early this month. And for the next, there'll be another class hopefully towards the end of the month, not a journaling one, but something different for me. And then June, July, August, Hi Ruby. I'll still provide some class content, but I won't be able to give like long-term advance notice because it's going to really depend on the weather. I'll try to pick days where I know it's going to be rainy and I'm going to be stuck inside anyway, as the summer is, we're very heavy gardeners, my husband and I, for flowers. So that is our prime time, and that is where I spend all of my other creative thinking, is in my garden. So this is May's class. This was our color swatch that we chose from our color box, number 15. So we did gel prints on that. And what I did this morning, I still have a bunch of scraps from the prints to my side. So if I need them, I can handily grab them. But what I thought I would do is, because bright colors for me, it's a little bit intimidating. This is my way of toning them down, which is adding some black. And when I started layering it and playing a little bit, I really liked it. And if anybody didn't watch how to organize your embellishments on a quick video I did yesterday, I really encourage you to do it, because today I opened up my book. I just went through really quickly, and I was able to pull out things that I'm going to use on this layout. I'm not pulling things out unless I know for sure I'm going to use them, because I'm not putting them back. So I was very sparsely picking them out and being mindful that I'm just going to pick out a few. I can go back to the book later and pull another one if I need it, but I'm not putting back in the book. So I got this frame. I thought of framing after I had these pieces down. I thought of a center frame, but I can't put it right in the center because of our bend. So I'll have to figure that out a little bit. So I'm going to put that to the side. These fussy cut flowers was one of the prints that I had pulled. I had done some die cutting with some flowers that I had in my stash, like flower dies. And during the gel print class, I used these to kind of mask the paper. So now I'm fussy cutting them because our swatch is all about spring flourish, and I thought that would be very nice to tuck in here and there. Judy, love that the order of the book and the tape. So looking forward to trying your ideas. Seems brilliant. I thought so too when I seen it. As I said in my video, it wasn't my idea, but it was one of those things that you watch late at night and it just stuck in my brain. So there was a time where I was ordering from Younique, and I come across that, and it's been a while, I come across that journal, and I thought, yep, that journal is going to be perfect for that idea. And then I got to town, and really it took me probably a day. Like, it seems like daunting work when you think about it, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed opening up all my embellishment packages, laying them out, like one package at a time. Hi, Michelle. Boy, you were a big bitter last night. Good for you. So I really enjoyed that process of putting them in the book. So this is, I'm going to cut one more, but I'll do that when we get there because I cut out 4, and you know I like odd numbers. I have this clock. This is from All in Create. There's like a package of just clocks, which clocks can go with anything. And I don't know all the lines these little things come from. I didn't pay attention. I was just looking for colors. And I got a little bit of mushrooms that kind of had these colors, and then a few of these acetates. There's a bug, there's like a little word, another bunch of flowers here. So I'm going to put this to the side for now and go down to the beginning. Hi Carol, good afternoon to you. Well, you got some wonderful things, Michelle. I was saying before you joined, I kind of fell asleep. I go to bed quite early, but I get up quite early. So I was watching it, and I was trying so hard to stay awake, but there's some beautiful paper lines. I'm just taking a sip of my coffee. So as we do this, if this is your first time joining us for a journal art class, all of it was kind of a commitment I made to myself and agreed to take you guys along at the start of this year, 2024. So each month we do a double page spread in our book. So that was January, this is February, this was March, this was April, just last month, and now we are on May. So I put little pieces of parchment paper in between the pages, just because the mediums, as they dry, they still kind of keep a little bit of a stick to them. And then when I'm creating on the current month, I just put copy paper in between here. And you overspent at the store too. I'm out of control with all yours and Unique's tutorials. Well, Michelle, it's fantastic stuff, right? And the nice thing about it is now you have it, and you can do it on a rainy day, you can do it on a sunny day, whatever your little heart desires. Now you're loaded with the stuff to do it. And that's what I do too. I load up in advance, and then when I sit down to do a project, I know I have it. So now we're on May's. So prior to us having this class, because I want to be mindful of time, and often I will not finish the pages. I don't think I've finished one on camera yet, because usually after we're playing with the mediums for about an hour and a half, the pages start to get kind of soggy and heavy, and you really need them to do a good air dry. I do have my handy heat tool that I like to use. As explained, I like the craft heat tool better than an embossing tool for this, because I just want to heat it to dry it. I don't want to emboss it, and this heat tool is much more gentle, and you don't have to worry about bubbling your pastes or anything like that, unless you stay right on it. And even if you do, it's not going to hurt it. If all you have is a embossing gun, feel free to use it to help you dry. Just be a little bit gentle and move it around a little bit more. Oh, Judy, you did the same, Blue, the budget. Yeah, I think we can all agree there's really not a budget. It's one of those things that, you know, it's my therapy, and I will never apologize for it. That's for sure. So I prepped these 2 pages and what makes them a journal class is you write a journal of what's happened to you from the last time we sat together to this time, and that is in the background. And I can just make out a few words here and there, and really the purpose of this is 100% just therapeutic. It allows you to journal. You'll remember when you look at the pages kind of what the story is underneath, but it's private. Even if someone was to pick up your book and look at it, they're not going to see your journaling. And then I erased some areas to begin with, and then I put a layer of white gesso. Gesso really helps your page. It's kind of like a primer. It primes your pages to accept whatever you're going to put on top. And then, as explained, because I knew I was working with more brighter colors, I decided just to take my tool here. This is a Finnabar tool, and I'm sure Heather can get them in if you guys are interested. It's a silicone brush, and you can get them in a 2-inch and a 1-inch. This is a 2-inch. And just with my black gesso on the tip, I just kind of rubbed it down, and you can see there's skippity bits and even some splatters. That's just the way it laid down, and I'm happy with that. We're going to put a little bit more black on just to tie it all together, but that was my starting point. So I like that. And then I decided to look at my papers that I had and pull out some of the ones that I knew I wanted to create with. So this was a blue one, this was kind of a red one, and I was looking at my color palette to make sure that I had some representation of all these colors on this page, because of course that's our challenge. So the way I had it laid was overlapping, but we really can't do that. And also I try not to put too many layers in this book because it's getting some heft to it. And just like my embellishment book, eventually this one won't close all the way. I'm completely fine with that. And that's what the elastic is there for. But I think I'm going to stay, I might overlap this part. But when I lay down my little frame, I'm going to just put it on one side or the other. So let's start by putting some paper down. Now I also pulled some washi tape from my stash. This is a wonderful item too that you can use. The other thing I pulled from my stash was some rub-ons. So I have my new favorite rub-ons, the All in Create. I got every package that there was because it was a huge selection of color. And you can see we have the pinks, we have the blues, even some greens, some reds. So I'm going to be digging into this and putting some rub-ons down. And I might even do that first before I even paste my other paper on. Let's do that. And then these rub-ons are more black and white in case, because I wasn't sure how bright. You love the rub-ons and washi tape? Yeah. But you know what? I find I underutilize them because they're kind of put away. But I have a different storage for my rub-ons. Nothing fancy. It's just, I put all my rub-ons now into one spot. And it doesn't matter which paper line they're from. And I find I'm using them better. So I also pulled out these Simple Story Botanical Simple Vintage Essential rub-ons because I thought I could mute out the color if I found that pink too bright by just putting kind of a rub-on flower next to it. So we'll see how that goes. But first I think I am going to put some rub-ons down before I even glue any paper down this time. And it's this sheet here that I was looking at. So this package came with a full sheet of this color and then a full sheet of these oranges and pinks, and I used almost all of that other sheet already. So that makes me very happy. If I can throw away an empty package, I'm very happy. It does not make me sad at all. What makes me sad is when I don't use the stuff. So, my little trick for making sure your rub-ons don't get away on you, because you don't want to store them without them being on their sheet. I'm just going to put some staples along, so then that way when I cut them up, they'll stay. And sometimes I put a staple even on little pieces so that I can keep them together. So I think I do like this pink. So I'm going to cut out all of the pink and I'll split it between the two sides. And actually I'm going to split this one again because, you know, I like my threes. And really without any heavy thinking about it, I'm just going to lay these down and rub them on. I got my waste basket on a different side today, so I'm searching for it all the time. And these rub-ons are so nice. They've come a long way with rub-ons. Rub-ons used to be so hard to rub on, but now they're easy. And you don't need much muscle. I think I'll keep this large one right over here. That's pretty. And I know that I'm going to be putting my title and something down in the corner. Maybe this corner. I always seem to gravitate to the right side, but maybe this corner. So I'm going to put some of this rub on and I'm going to bring it right to the very edge down here. And I'll dedicate this little corner for that. There. So there's the pink one. And I'm just looking to see, I have a big piece of blue, I have a little bit of green. The green's really not that dark green, but I feel like I want a little bit of this blue in there. So I'm just going to pick out a little bit, and I'll just do itty bitty pieces. I might end up covering this, who knows. I'm just kind of putting it down and not fretting it. And that's the nice thing with journal art. Just put it down and don't fret on where you're going to put it. And if you need to step away from your project and come back to it, do that. But don't give up onto it. A lot of people with journal art, they'll choose not to like it when they're doing it. They think it's just a mess. And I'm telling you, many times I've got close to the end and I'm thinking it's a complete mess. And I just walk away from it for a little bit and then come back and start again. And then it ends up being something that I truly love. Oh, I can't get my fingers to work here. Anybody playing along? Can't believe we're on May already. So we're evolving with our layouts. When we first started, it was strictly the paper that we used, that we pulled prints from, and nothing else. Last month, we incorporated I used some punch tools and made tags. What else did we do? I used some border or some dies to cut the borders off of. So like we're getting into learning how to pull from your stash to add to your creation, which I love. I love evolving into something else. There. So I think I'm just going to put this back in its package. I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And now we'll start laying down our paper. So I kind of had this like this. So I'm going to start by doing that. I'm going to get my matte medium. Had to open up a new tab. That excited me. Before I started doing this, I was on that same tub of matte medium for 2 years. But now you guys have given me a great reason to do it. I'm going to put some down here. Remember, I put it on the bottom. It acts as a glue. But on the top, it also protects this paper so that we can layer more on top of it, but it's not going to disturb what we've already created on it. I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to be mindful to fold my paper up, because this one here is right on the edge. And if the paper cracks, that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. So you want to be mindful that you get it all down there. Now we'll do a little bit of a layer on top. really getting my nail in there. Now I do want some of this down. I'm going to put this one next. It may not be the way I had it when I showed you in the pre-work, but that doesn't matter. I'm sorry I missed you when you were putting on the paper. Oh, you mean the gel print class, Michelle? That's taped. You can go back and tape or rewatch that. All these classes are taped. If you go under events or even albums, I try to post the ones that I do under my name so that they're easy to find. I don't want them even. Kind of want them offset from each other a little bit. Oh, what you're painting on now, glue? Yes, so this is called gel medium. This is a Liquitex brand, but there's all kinds of brands out there. For me, the biggest thing is that it's matte. If you're someone who likes shine, then go for glossy, but I prefer matte. So it's called multi or gel medium. I think Heather has some in the store, a Finnabar product, which is really good. And my other tip is, when I bought this, I had no stores to shop from. That's how long ago I bought it. So I end up buying a big one. But anytime you can get your mediums, whether it's gesso, matte gel, anything, into little tubes, that's much better. Because now that this is open, I have to be a little careful in how I store it, because if not, it's going to dry up. And that's the part I do not like. I do not like being wasteful. So if you can get smaller tubes, I'd recommend that. You can even cut the tubes in two when you get down to the last bit to get every bit. So yeah, so I glue it down, and then I put it on top, and on top will seal your paper. So no, it doesn't matter what else I put onto it, it's not going to soak into this paper to ruin the integrity of the design. I think before I put that one down, I want to do a little washi. I kind of like this green, and washi has a little bit of a stick on its own, but I still will put down some medium just to make sure that it sticks. And I know we all got stashes of washi tape. I'm going to make sure that I include a little piece down here, because I just want to make sure that however my title sits, it has some of the same elements. It's not going to have it all, but some of the same elements as what does the actual page. So as I'm going along, I'll stick a few things down here. And now I'll put this one down. And my most favorite part of doing the books is the very last part, and that's when you take either your pencils, your pencil crayons. I have the Tim Holtz Distress pencils, and I'm loving them. So that's what I'll use to do some detailing at the very end, and that's how you get all those different layers and dimensions as well. Yeah, your paper may look a little bubbly, don't worry about it. I just take my finger and smooth it out the best I can, push the bubbles out. But once it dries, it will be stuck down really good. And then I'm going to take this washi tape, and this washi tape, I can't tell you where I got it, if it was part of a line. Again, all my washi tape kind of gets sent to the same tub that I have designated. Sometimes I'll keep it with the paper line if it's specific until I kind of do the first project with the paper line, and then I'll cut it up. So look, there's a little piece right there. So I'm just going to do a quick dry to this layer. Have a sip of my coffee. We get to see Unique tonight with showing us all their new lovely stuff. That's going to be good. Now I still have, well, I shouldn't say I have too much black here, but I have a little black. I might decide to put another strip, or maybe that's where the photo will go. We'll have a look here in a second. So this isn't dry, but it's dry enough. I have more strips over here already pulled. This is when I hum and haw. And I know I want this flower to be kind of sticking out of there. I kind of like that, like that. I kind of like that. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? There? Or here? I think it shows up more over here. What do you think? I'll call this the left side or the right side? What are you thinking? I'm feeling the left side. I think it stands out against that better. So that means, what are we going to do? You like the left too, Judy? I think I do like the left there. So now I'm going to pull out some stencils. I'm going to put my brush in water for now because I don't want it getting, I know I'm not done with laying things down, but this is the part of paying attention. Now, when my class is done today, I will be putting saran wrap over the top, and I'll push it in just ever so slightly so that it's kind of filling in this empty space, and then I'll put a baby wipe or a piece of baby wipe on top and then put my cover on, and that's just enough moisture that it seems to do great with my mediums. Now you'll see the big jar or heavy gesso white I have. I will never in a million years use that before it dries up. See, it's huge. And that's one of the things. So this is kind of what I do. Saran wrap and then a baby wipe. And this saran wrap is just about toast. So I think I'll throw that one away today and get a new saran wrap. But that's a lot of paste. Now you can add a little bit of water in there to help dilute it a bit. But I know I'm not going to get all of it used. So before I do that though, which one do I, yeah, I can put the white down now. I want to put a little bit of white stenciling on top of these black. So I just went into my stash, pulled out some stencils, and each month or each time we do it, I tend to grab some different ones. And this one is a Spellbinder diamond dot stencil. And I am crazy, I'm a little bit OCD. I label all my stuff because I hate it when people ask me and then I don't know. I wasn't always that way, so I do have some stuff that is not labeled that I do not know. Just grab a palette knife, and you can use regular gesso. This is heavy, or you can use modeling paste. The heavier the gesso, or if it's modeling paste, then you're going to get some raised areas. So I just want to put some kind of texture white, and I'll even put some down here, kind of over the black areas. Oh, I like that. And it makes it so that it's not so black anymore. I think I'm going to put something in here, so I'll avoid putting anything in there. But you see the little tiny amount that you use? I'm never going to use this jar, so please buy small jars if you have the option. If you don't have the option, well, get what you get. But maybe a few up here. And then I have some baby wipes handy. You can have a tub of water beside you as well. But these stencils are quite large, and I didn't have a portable tub that was as large as these stencils. So before the class started, I filled up my sink with some soapy water. And I know I'm not going to use this stencil anymore. I have other stencils here to use if I need another stencil. So I'm going to go and throw that in my pan of water right quick. Usually if I just use the small stencils, I'll have a pan right beside me. And took all my water. My daughter was being helpful and she emptied my sink. But she'll go fill it back up. So I like them dots. I don't know if you guys can see them as well as I can, but already it kind of, there's darkness there, but it's already lighter. Now I find this area, and like I find you guys that have been with me for a while, you understand my that stencil dots ties everything together. Well, it's going to get better, Jennifer. You know that I have such a hard time leaving white space. I keep challenging myself with every journal page that I do, saying I'm going to leave more white space this time. And I try, but to me it just looks a little empty. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the black through a stencil that's writing, I think. Do I want writing, or do I want crosses or numbers? I think I want writing. But I also have, I kind of have one that matches with that, and there's writing underneath. I'm talking myself right out of the writing one. So I have this stencil, which is kind of similar, and I just want to put a few black marks up here. I'm just going to look and see what else I have pulled here for stencils. I could do numbers, like random numbers. I just feel like I want something there. think I'm going to go for it. And so I'm going to put that one away. And my jar of heavy black gesso is a little bit tinier, which is nice. All my saran wrap's falling apart. Oh well. I'll get us some new saran wrap. The other thing I like to do is, if you can, keep your edges clean. So what I'm going to do is just wipe this top stuff off on a piece of paper towel, because it's really like got some dried bits in there. So when you're taking from your jar, make sure that you it's like when you do your jar of mayonnaise, you get all the edges first, because if you leave that on there, it kind of gets crusty and yucky. So we don't need much black. I'm just going to take a little bit off, and I tend to get very messy with this stuff. So, okay, I want it kind of off the page, and I know I don't want a lot. And once I pull this up, that's it, because there's no going back down with this one. Okay, I think I like it. And then we're just going to do a couple of off page down here. I think I like it. You really got no choice but to like it when you're using black. Well, I suppose you could let it dry and then gesso over it again, but okay. I'm leaving it. I think that's it for the black. So I'm going to put my paste back on. And because modeling paste and heavy gesso, any gesso, is water-based, you can put a few dots. If anybody has alcohol inks and you want a specific color other than white, I would suggest use alcohol ink, because the liquid part of alcohol ink dissipates and it won't make your medium more runny. Whereas if you use an ink re-inker, like a water-based ink re-inker, that water doesn't dissolve, so it will make your base more runny. I'm just going to go through this in the sink as well. There. Okay, I'm going to dry this. And then we're going to start laying down the rest of our pieces. My stencil stash is certainly growing, I can tell you that. Oh my gosh, I have a little bit of a love relationship with stencils. And not too many of them pass me by. Okay. So first, oh, I know what I can put over here. That might be a good spot for that clock. Okay, let me put this one down first. And now, like, I can use, I think for these, I will just use double-sided adhesive, because I'm not intending to put anything on top. I'm questioning myself again. My stash is growing. I'm soon going to need a bigger craft room. Well, Michelle, that's the thing for me. I have what I have for craft space. Um, my husband and I, we sold what we called our big house almost 5 years ago now, and we built our retirement home. So I went from probably 900 square feet of craft space down to a room that's 9 by 10, 9 by 9, and did it. I had some hard days with purging and selling stuff off, but we did it. And so now when something new comes in that has any huff to it, something else has to leave. So I've been trying to be very proactive on that. I will use just some double-sided tape here, and I'm going to be generous with it. I'm going to put it all the way around. If I decide later that I need to protect the top of this because I'm going to add ink or whatever, then I can always put some matte medium on top. I don't have to worry about putting it on the bottom as glue. But I'm not sure at this point that I'm going to be doing that. This is our first time that I've actually pulled like ephemera to add to our pages, and it's because I never had it organized before. I had no idea what I had for ephemera. I really didn't. I just knew I had a lot of it. But I'm telling you, you can be very organized and you can house a lot of stuff in a small space. But I purge often. I think I'm going to leave it right on the pink. I was thinking about offsetting it, but I think I like it right on. Oh shoot, I was going to tuck this underneath. Oh well, it will look all right there. I don't want to add pop dots or anything like that because I'm trying to keep it as flat as possible so that we can close our book. Seeing if I can force this up a little, just enough to get that under. I think I can. So let me put some adhesive down here. And the same thing, I'll just use this Suk Wang double-sided adhesive. And I'm being generous. I don't want any of these pieces to pop off. You're very organized. You know exactly. I know. Isn't it fabulous? I do. I'm with you. I think I've purchased the same thing twice once. And that was when I had my bigger room and did not know where everything was at. Actually, I'm lying. I did it once with Younique. My friend benefits when I do that. It was a stencil, and it was because I had a box waiting there, and I forgot I had already purchased it. That was before I realized I could go back on their website and see what I purchased. This looks a little crooked to me, but I'm okay. How do you decide on what to destash? It's hard, Ruby, but I look at it, and my big thing that I'm destashing right now is stamps and some stencils. As I look at it and I ask myself, like, I destash stuff I have not even used because I bought it like 5 years ago. And I know I'm just not going to get around to using it. So I hang on to it and keep up valuable space. I have a new montage that I'm going to try. I don't know how well it's going to do, but I want to get to the point, especially with my stamps, that after I'm done using them, because that's my thing, I'll make a bunch of cards with it and then I probably will never use it again. So I want to get to the point that after I'm done making that first round of cards, I put it up for sale right away and not hang on to it. So I'm hoping to get there. There's some things I will never sell. I should say never is a strong word, but it's certainly not on the chopping block, and that's my Tim Holtz stuff. I've been a fan and a follower and a user of his products, and his stamps I do go back and back to because they're just so versatile. This is washi tape and it says little details. So I'm just going to take a little piece of that and put that down on top of this green washi, because it is all about the little details. I like that there. So yeah, it's hard. It's never easy. When we moved houses, at first a lot of my stuff went to a storage unit. I did get rid of a lot at first, but then a lot went to a storage unit. And when I really realized how small my space was going to be, I had to do it then. Tim Holtz is generally timeless and classic, 100%. Couldn't agree with you more. I'm liking that placement. So like threes, I like groupings of threes or fives. So I think I'm going to stick this down. And I think I can use my little, this Nuvo glue is pretty strong. So I think I'm going to use that on these. And that way I can get right around. My little thing squeaks and I don't know why. It is like the bottle's all the way down. Maybe I'm just putting too much pressure. But I'm telling you, the spot where I have for Tim Holtz is currently full. And I don't buy like every stamp of his, neither. I'm a little bit selective. And I'll use the Sequang for the clock. I'm going to put these leaves down. I'm enjoying the All in Create stamps right now. I threw a sneak peek or a cute photo up last night of one of the stamp sets I got. I've been doing lots and lots of coloring, and before this class I actually cut out a bunch of the All in Create tag and card backgrounds, like the ones that have the 2 layers to them, so I can form up my cards. And I'm gonna look so forward to that, because how I'm going to do some of the cards is actually build them using my embellishment book and use the ink colored part of the stamp as the focal point, but with where's my 12? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like that, right? Yeah, so I'm going to be using lots from my embellishment book, which I'm so looking forward to it. That is just, I am so happy I did that. And as I said in my video yesterday, I still have some packages of embellishments that are not open that belong with specific scrapbook designs or collections, but as soon as I open them to do pages with that line, I'm putting the rest of the embellishments in my book. And I know I have some friends that can't scrapbook using different embellishments other than what comes with the collection kit. I'm not one of them. I often get the embellishments to match because if I'm getting the collection kit, that means I really like it. But I don't mind mixing and matching. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. Now we have these flowers that we fussy cut, and I have, see, I'm gonna leave some white space. I'm challenging the inner me. I don't like how I put that rub on there though. So maybe I'll put a flower there. I'm not sure about the big ones. Okay, so I'm going to take out my liquid text glue again. I'm going to get these flowers down. If you guys have any great tips, lay them out for me. I'm always trying to learn new things, and we all look at different inspiration. So you often, if you're like me, and that's when I'm out on the treadmill in the morning, well, I'm usually watching my gardening show out there. But if I run out of content on the garden channel, then it will be some sort of mixed media artist that I'll throw up a video on. There's a little ridge there. And I love ridges, right? Because that's where you're going to get your detail. Sometimes I go in with gesso to kind of mute out the edges, like where paper meets paper. But for this one, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to use that. And when I go around detailing, then it will just draw out those colors a little bit more. I feel like that one is just too big, so I don't think I'm going to use that one. Now remember, if you guys, I know Judy's been starting to play along with her months. She kind of watches, I think, the video and then she creates. So I would love to see your pages that you do. Because you know, Diane and I and Heather, Betty, we do this just because we love this kind of stuff and we love this community, and we also want to see what you're doing. I'm just having a look here to see what else I have. So that's 3. If I go beyond 3, that means I got to go to 5. I did a bunch of pulls using my alcohol inks and love them. Good for you, Judy. That's actually our next pull session. I think I had mentioned that instead of using acrylics, we're going to pull using alcohol. And I can't wait. It is fun, and you get totally different, unique designs. I love it. Like, I love the acrylics too. But please let me see. I would love to see. So we have these little ditties, and this is supposed to be part of my clustering. Now if this was a page, I'd be popping up galore. Like, you know, there'd be multiple layers by now. And that's why I keep holding it like that. But because this is a book that we're going to close, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put this mushroom down because that's what I had envisioned him for. I have my matte medium open, so I might as well use it. I would dare say the glue that's in the Nuvo glue or Art Glitter glue is pretty close to a formula of gel medium, but it would be costly to use that for this type of project. Matte medium is more cost effective. But if you don't have matte medium and you want to try your Liquitex or your not Liquitex, sorry, your Nuvo or your Art Glitter glue, go for it. Now we have this little fly of sorts. I think I'm going to put him right down here. And I'm just going to put the glue right on top of them. It will cause a little bit of like almost like a film over it because it's acetate, but that's okay. And this is just like a random, this is package number. So we'll put that up here. I just want to make sure whatever I took out of my embellishment book I'm going to use. This is my life is going to be my title, and I don't know if I'm gonna, I think I will. I think I'll put it right here, and that will complete this little cluster. And that will be my title. And the inspiration for this was just sitting out on my deck, and you know, our color card that we did, but also looking at everything that's popping up. There's little mushrooms coming up. There's all my perennials are starting to sprout. So there's lots of things happening. And this little tab, I feel like everything is over here, but with that being said, oh, and your embellishments are great. And I know I'm repeating myself for those of you that have watched or participated in our other journal classes, but it's these ridges that are created on your pages that will really catch the ink when I go in and do my detail work, highlighting work. And I'll show you on another page what I mean by that. Okay. I think I'm pretty near done. The only thing I have over here that I did not utilize was some of the black, but I don't think I need it because we added the black there. I think I'm very happy with this. What do you guys think? Do you see a need for anything more? Looks great, Judy. Well, I know when I put the highlights on, it will really draw it out. And this is where I'll let it sit and I'll let it dry completely on its own. It doesn't take long. Like by after dinner, it will be completely dry. You like the diagonal. Well, that's what I tried with at our last month, and I didn't quite get there. So this is what I mean by highlights. So you see how I went around with black and blue, like depending on what color we used. I just went in and did some highlight. I even colored on top of the pieces, like where it was bright yellow, I even added more bright yellow. And I'm planning on using my Tim Holtz crayons, but I also have Derwent Intense pencils, which is another type of pencil that's water reactive. So like here I did some green, lots of black, some browns. So it's just kind of tracing. Oh, and we have to put our month. It's tracing what you've done in the colors that you've done it with. So like this blue, I know right now I'll take the blue and I'll intensify that. So it will be brighter. It will pop off the page a little more. I'll probably do some tracing around the flowers. But yeah. So that's it for today. I will, as always, I post when I'm done fiddling with it to show you what the absolute finished product is. But that's where we're at today. I think that our time was spent very well today with that little bit of prep work. And we'll let this dry and I will do some of the detail. I'm definitely going to bring some of this pink red over here because I feel like I'm missing this color over on this page. So whether I find my leftovers, like I have even a piece here, and put a little piece here. I might even do that right now because I just feel like it's missing that color. And then that way it will have a chance to dry. Oh, you're most welcome, Ruby. Thank you guys for joining me. It's always a pleasure, and I know people rewatch a lot, but it's always nice when you have some conversation, and I'm just not here talking to myself. So that's always fun. So like even just a little bitty piece of paper sometimes makes all the difference. I just feel like it draws that color over here. I'm just going to use my nail to really push it into that leaf. And I know I need another little tab just because of the threes. Threes or fives. Maybe I'll put it right there by the bug. I could watch and work along with you all day. Oh, thanks, Michelle. It is fun. You know, COVID really destroyed our world for a lot of things, but for social media, it just exploded it. And it wasn't until that we learned how we could communicate and join together without being face to face very easily. So I'm appreciative of that. See, I'm okay with the blue because there's some blue here that's pretty much the same color, and there's a little bit here. But that pink was different than this pink, and it just wasn't enough for me, so I had to add those little bits. And I'm going to say I'm done for now. Anyway, guys, it was a pleasure. Have a terrific week, and we'll chat real soon. Bye-bye.